Welcome back to Jordy Guns podcast, episode 5. I'm here with Jordy. Hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good to be back again.
It is. Was always looking forward to it. 2 week cycle. How's your 2 weeks been, bud?
Yeah, not too shabby actually. Just been at school and working a bit. So,
What do you do
but
for a
I mean,
job?
it's gone
I never
quick.
asked you.
Yeah, I just work at the local supermarket,
Ah, cool.
just stacking shelves, bit of register work,
Awesome. Did you
and
bat
yeah,
RC all
it's
day
pretty good.
when you're doing that?
Always.
Yep, I thought you might. Excellent. We've got a
Yeah.
massive 2 weeks. So we both have raced. I've actually done 2 races in the last 2 weeks that we're going to talk about. A whole bunch of news coming up and a lot of cool things. So thanks for joining us. Before we go any further, please, if you do like the video and you're watching it on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe if you do like it. It does help us a lot to spread the word about the podcast. So, and if you're listening to it on audio, please give us a review if you download the podcast. The last episode we had with Kyle McBride was been really popular. We've had a lot of the audio is really picked up, the audio downloads, which is quite cool. So it's good fun, isn't it, Jordy?
It's good to
the
see.
podcast.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really.
it's good to just chat, and just chat about
I
it.
agree. I look forward to it a lot. Right, let's dive in, son. We're going to do the news. So what's the first news item we've got off the? You go, Jordy.
Yeah, so the recent 184 Nationals in America was held, and TLR driver Dakota Fend took out both of the nitro classes, the buggy and truggy. So, yeah, he dominated that weekend, you
Mate,
could
he was
say.
on a tear. Like he was like 5 seconds ahead, I think. He
Yeah,
was just, and then the final of the buggy, at least Mayfield gave him a run, but
yeah. Yeah, I think Mayfield finished second in
he
both
did, yeah.
classes, I
Yeah, he
believe.
did. And TLR, like,
Yeah,
Fend won the double with the Desert Classic last week in 1/10th, right? Like, so
yeah, he did.
he's
So,
unbelievable. Like, it's good to see TLR up there. Yeah, it was amazing. And it was good to watch.
for
I got to
sure.
watch a fair bit of it again. So, yeah, it was awesome. I love we're going to get
Yeah,
into
it was
some
really good.
1/8. But yeah. Right. The Proline Series. Proline Series is a series of 1/8 races around different tracks in New South Wales. And you might know last couple of episodes ago, I went down to Canberra and didn't do a single lap. So this time I went to Orange, which was another four
And
and a
he
half
got
hour
some laps
journey.
in.
The weather was absolutely pristine and had an absolute ball, like hanging out with the X-Ray guys. We got a Airbnb house.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
awesome.
it's so good, mate. Like,
Yeah,
and this time we got there on the Friday night, most of us, instead of Saturday morning. So
okay.
yeah, me, the Secole boys, I think Ben Cribben, and Stoney got there on the Friday night. So it was cool, man. Like amazing experience. I'll get into that later when we talk about racing recap. But
Yep,
the winners, Craig Lawton won with his hot bodies. He's a really strong driver from the Maitland Club.
yep.
So Ari came second. Oh no, sorry. Ari won the e-buggy and with his X-ray, and Noah Carter won the Techno with his in the junior buggy.
Yeah,
I'm just
it's
gonna
good how
put
they
up
have the junior class in 1/8 because I haven't
yeah,
really
it's really
seen
good.
the junior class like in 1/8 at all.
Yeah, I think it's new. Ari introduced it this year,
Oh, it's
and
really
they
good.
had 7 or 8, I think maybe 8 drivers in it. Like it was super good. Like it was, and it was Noah Carter. He's good. He was down in the Victorian State Titles 1/10th, and
Okay.
yeah, he made the B main I think with me. He's really good young guy. He's like 11 or something. So,
Yeah, wow.
but he was
That's good
good.
to
He
see.
took it out. Yeah. So put the podium picture up for the people watching the video. So there's Craig with his hot bodies D819. Matty Cooper comes second in the X-ray.
Yeah,
Really good result for him.
the
His
donkey.
dad pits for him. Yeah, I know. Pete is so funny. Pete wears the X-ray apron.
Yeah.
But Matty did really well, and Peter Seckold came third. He's a 1/8 is pretty much his preferred. He always does this kind of thing, but he's
Yep.
really good. Ari came fourth. Ari had 2 flameouts in the final. He was the TQ from memory,
Okay.
but
Oh,
2
it's a bit
flameouts. But
unfortunate.
yeah, it was. But Craig drove impeccable, so that was really cool. I've got a picture of the actual track. This is the orange. I don't know. I did a video yesterday, just this morning, Jordy. You might not have seen it yet, but
Yeah, the
I did a
track
track
walk.
walk. Yeah,
You actually just watched that like half an hour ago.
awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
It was unreal. Like, I don't know. The track was weird, right? It had dirt sections and then
The
oiled sections and
the
then carpet.
AstroTurf as well, wasn't
Yeah. So
it?
we
Three
had
in
a
one.
control. I know because it's a Proline series. The control tires are Proline S3 blockades, but they were great. Like they were. I mean, and the wear was
Okay.
almost nothing. Like we used. I had one set. I did change a set for the second day, but I didn't have to. They were pretty much brand new. But yeah, it was
Yep.
really good. So track was unreal.
Yeah, I really like the layout of that track. Looks like pretty flowing.
Mate, kick-ass layout. Like it had, I think I talked about it in the track walk, but the jumps, some of the sections you had to really feather the jumps to not over jump them. Like
Yep.
if you, cause you could
Okay.
carry a lot of speed. It was a bit weird and it was a really good track. I was super impressed. Like for just a
Yeah,
track in Orange, in a pretty small club, we had like 50 or 60, 80 something entries with 50 something drivers. It was really good.
that's good to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was 30
Yeah.
in both nitro and e-buggy, with very few people doing both. I mean, there's a couple, but most of them you just either
Yep.
do because it's a lot of work to do both. But yeah, so
Yeah, it would be.
that was super cool. All right, Geordie, what's next?
So yeah, the QRD 110 carpet state titles at Mozzie RC was held, and yeah, Chris Sturdy took out two-wheel drive modified with his AE. I'm not sure how you say it.
Oh, it's
K
Kauai. I spoke to his
Hawaii.
dad,
Okay.
so it's like Hawaii with a K. So it's
Yep.
Kauai Condon. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So he took out the junior class with the X-ray. Corey Tate took out short course truck with the Techno, and it was James Taylor in AE who won the four-wheel drive mod.
Yeah, like it's good to see Techno. Yeah, Techno's making, Techno won the juniors and he won the short
Bit of
course
a
track. Yeah, it's
comeback.
pretty good to
Yeah.
see. Actually, Travis Condon, Kauai's dad, he's the interview this week. So I interviewed him
Yep.
earlier about charges and stuff. So you get to see that. But that's his son, so he was pretty happy about that. So
Yeah. Cool. Do
awesome.
you know how old he is?
Yeah, like 7. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. He was super young. I was. He sent me a photo. I probably should have put it on, but yeah, he's super young.
Yeah. Little gun.
Yeah, unreal, eh? Like there's some.
Yeah.
I mean, there's you. So there's
No,
some
I'm
young.
10 years older.
I know, but there's some young
But
people just absolutely carving it. But yeah, like him 7. I'm sure he said that. Like he's young. Yeah, it's
yeah. Wow.
amazing. Anyway. Cool. So that's the news. I did have a photo actually. Did I put it up before of Dakota? There he is. That's Dakota and his wife, I
Dakota
think.
Fend.
Yeah, with their trophies.
Yep.
And so I'm really happy for him. He's a nice guy. He always seems to be pretty nice. And he's been close a couple of times. He's won truggy a couple of times, but never buggy. So it was good to see.
Yeah. Nah, it is good to
Good
see.
on him.
To the double.
Dakota Fend. All right, we're just going to have a very quick break and we'll come back with the racing recap. We've both raced, so it's going to be pretty fun. We're back in a minute.
Yep. Welcome back to Jordy Guns episode 5. We're going to go into our racing recap for this week's episode. So I actually had a club day at Keilor the week ago, or last weekend. Wasn't really big. A couple of the guys running out at EMCC, a bit of 1/8. They had a big event or something over there. So yeah, a few guys weren't really there. So it was a bit of a small club day actually. Yeah, we made really good progress on the tool drive actually. It's actually been the best I've personally ever felt it has been at Keilor.
Wow.
So we tried some new stuff, a different rear end, kind of some different arms and kind of pill settings, and yeah, it really helped the car. And we tried some different tires and just preparation on the tires, and yeah, it's just been the best it's ever felt actually.
That's amazing. On the XP2.
Yeah, the 2022
It's
model.
awesome for you to get a chance to do that, hey? Like to try some stuff out. A little bit, like it's not
Yeah,
just
for sure.
practice, it's a bit of a race, but it's kind of like practice for you, time practice. That's great.
Yeah, and I also found it was way more consistent as well, and heaps easier to drive.
And when you
Yeah.
say the pills, you mean did you raise or the axle height or whatever it is, or the
Yeah, on the C and D
Yeah.
blocks, you just played around with the pill settings, and yeah, came up with a really good setting that works at kill.
That's awesome. Wow. Hot off the
Yeah,
press.
it's worked really well.
I shudder to think what you're going to do next if you're getting faster. But this is all gearing up for charges, right? For QLD state titles.
Yeah. Man, yeah, with Killer being high grip, it will hopefully be similar to Chargers as well.
Yeah. I've got some news about Queensland. So real life's got in the way. Like I've got into a new role at work. So unfortunately, I start early May and I can't have the 3 days off work so close. So I've had to pull out. It's a bit of a shame.
It is.
I know the crew's still going. I know that Nathaniel and the Blaneys are still going. So they're still going up. But yeah, I'm a bit devoted about that.
Yep.
But anyway, Jordy can tell us all about it.
I'll still get some videos and some photos we can put on the podcast.
For sure. That'd be awesome. All right, that was good, Jordy.
Yep.
So I actually had a club day at Ride. This was a debut of the XB2 and the XB4. XB2, not XB4. So
it's been a while since you've had it.
I know. But I got mixed updates. So XB4 was kick-ass. I ended up coming 5th overall. Like, similar to you, it wasn't... Not everyone was there, the fast guys. But there was 30 people or 20-odd people there in four-wheel drive. And that's the best ever result I've had. I came second one of the A mains. And
was this in the open class that they ran?
So I was running a 7.5 mod motor. And so most people run model. Yeah, most people are now because it's open class. So it was unreal.
Yeah. I like that format.
Oh, it's unreal because you're just forced to, if you want to really have a crack, you got to do something. Some people overtune. Right. They just ESC settings their stock motors, so they just advance the timing and stuff. But most people there have been swapping the motors out for other ones. So loved it. 5th, best result ever. I'll still take it, even though you can only beat who's there. So that's my second one of the A mains. That was unreal. Now with the XP2, did a couple of warm up packs, and then the car stopped, and I was like, okay, just stopped. So it was an electrical problem, and I mucked around with it. It looked like it was the balance cable, but the sensor cable, sorry. But I tried 3 different sensor cables, reset the ESC, and I couldn't get it to work. And then my motor smoked at one stage. Like, it was horrendous, right? So I basically wrote it was. So I spoke to Condon Hobbies, and I actually heard this is the brand new Hobby Wings XR10.
The G2S ESC.
Apparently there's a few getting sent back with sensor cable, like the sensor plug problems. So I sent it back, and I've just heard today they got it fixed and they're sending it back to me. So it was like a warranty thing. So it's a bit disappointing. I think I've wrecked my 10.5 turn motor because it's smoking. I'm thinking, it was a shocker. So it was brand new, the motor. I've used it once, I think. So I still haven't used the XP2. So I didn't actually do any. It stopped in one of the qualifiers, and that was it. So I'm shattered, man. Like,
hopefully next
time. But XP4 was good. Besides that,
that's all.
That's all. I know that was good. And I'm gonna stick with mod now that I'm not going to charges to the Queensland State titles. I might just run mod for months until the next state titles comes.
Even at big events.
Yeah, for the New South Wales state titles, I'll probably switch back to stock. But because I'm running at Ride, and that's always open. Might as well. And I might just stick to it at hills as well and just practice. Yeah, so anyway, that's not thinking of doing. Then I went to Orange. So 1/8, first 1/8 race in 12 years. So I've got an old D817 V2. It's the car Ronafort won the Worlds in 2016. Anyway, it's 5 or 6 years old. Yeah. My motor is...
that's the hot
bodies. My motor is 12 years old. So I haven't used it every year. Like, it's sat in my attic for a good 8 years. So, but it's a used motor. Anyway, I went down there with no expectations and absolutely loved it. So started pretty rough, but I had a lot of the X-Ray guys help me just with settings and setup, even though it's a different car. I actually spoke to Craig, who won it, was Hot Bodies. So I spoke to him and the car improved. Anyway, the whole first Saturday, I did 150 laps of practice. Like, just smashed the car because I was loving it and I just wanted to get as much practice as I could. And then Sunday qualifying, I qualified 15th. There was 33 or 34 runners. 15th in the first qualifier, 17th in the second one. But the track was speeding up, and it was rocket round. So the third qualifier. Now I'm going to talk about this in wrenching corner, Jordy. But one of my shocks, the oil come out of it. The bottom cap come out, and I didn't know. I didn't see it because I'm the maintenance. I don't know, hopeless. Didn't notice it. Went out for my practice in the last qualifier, and the car was just undrivable. Right, so it had basically no damper on one of the sides of the rear. Every jump,
so just kind of flopping around.
Every jump, so it still had the spring, right, and it still had the sway bar, but there was no oil in the shock, so it was super bouncy. Okay. So every jump, it was just flipping. Every landing, because it was lopsided. So I tried to get through. It was a waste of time. So I ended up coming 28th or something because I was hopeless, right? And because that was the fastest time, I ended up qualifying 25th or 24th overall. So
they didn't drop around.
No, it's rocket round, your fastest round. So it's not points. It's basically your fastest round. And because the track sped up because the day heat was heating up, everyone went faster. True. And so my first 2 rounds didn't actually count. So, I used one of my early rounds, but it wasn't fast. Anyway, B main, I'm in the C main, top 4 bump up, and I'm starting 5th, right? So I'm like, okay, this is good. And by that stage, my car was humming, right? I did all the change after the shock got done. I redid the shock oils. I made them softer. Car was kick ass. So in the C main, it's 15 minutes. It's got 1 pit stop, right? So I get into 4th place, and I was comfortable as the top 4 had broken away. I had like 3/4 of a lap head start. I'm not 5th place guy. There was 12 in the race. Okay. I'm like, this is unreal. I'm going to bump up here. I stacked it. Marshall marshaled me, and his finger touched the flywheel.
Oh no!
So I flamed out. Right?
Did it flame out? Oh shit!
And it was pretty much 90% of the track. It was on the edge of the end near the timing loop. So I lost a whole lap. So it gets run in, restarted.
Yeah.
I get out again. I'm 11th. Right. I get back to 5th. I was driving out of my tree. I was in the zone, right? This is C main, but I was like, I did my fastest 5 or 6 laps of the whole weekend were in that session where I was catching. So I cracked 40 seconds, and I was like, okay. Got to 5th. I could see 4th. There were still minutes to go. I was fine. Flamed out again. This time it just flamed. I don't know what happened. So I ended up coming back to 9th, ended up coming 7th. So I don't know, like the car's old and it was probably 150 laps a day before, probably didn't do it any favours. But with the flame out, the second one, I think my petrol tank, there was still fuel in it, but I think the pipe wasn't sunk to the bottom or something. So anyway. So I ended up coming 24th.
There's a lot to think about in 1/8.
Mate, it's unreal. But what I did, it's unreal. Like it's just so good with the pit stops, the timing. So I had Peter Seckold was pitting for me because he was in the A's, and he had a headset. So I was wearing a headset with him, giving me advice and when to come in, and it was just unreal. I had an absolute ball racing. So.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about doing it next year, but you've got to get into it. It was...
Yes. Oh, for sure.
It's just...
Even if it's electric, I just want to get into 1/8 next
year.
The
e-buggy was good too. They have e-buggy there. So there was similar numbers. I think 30-something in both. So I was absolutely hooked. Then Matt Seckold, Pete's brother, he knew it as e-buggy. It was his first nitro. He bumped from the B's into the A's, and I was his pit man. So I got involved.
Pressure's on, man.
It was unreal. He ended up coming 9th in the A's. So he came 9th overall. He was stoked. So I did his...
That's really good. It was
unreal. So I'm hooked. I've bought an XP8. So I'm just popping it on the screen. So I bought a brand new X-Ray Nitro. I'm going to keep my motor. I think the motor's still okay. It's got good compression. But I've got a new kit coming. So that's going to be awesome.
Oh, that's exciting.
Very. So anyway, that was the first. I think the last few times we've been washed out or haven't raced, so it was good that we've both raced.
Very
When's your next race?
Sunday. This Sunday. We've got another club day at
Awesome.
Keilor.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. And you might have more people, I guess, because there's no clashing.
Yeah, I think so, because I don't think there's nitro or any nitro big events on this
Yeah.
weekend. So hopefully, and there's lots of people in COVID isolation last time as well.
Yeah. Okay. I could be racing Saturday night at Ride, but it's raining again, man. Like it's pouring,
really?
and the forecast another week of rain. So
Oh,
yeah.
well, it's a bit different down here because we're predicting 26 degrees and sunny on
Mate, we've
Sunday.
had such a bad run. So Ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm getting the XP2 ready, and if I can, I'll race Saturday night, but I don't know whether we will. Cool. That's racing recap. We're going to have a quick break, come back. We've got an interview with Travis Condon. We'll do that right now. Cheers.
Awesome.
Welcome back to episode 5 of the Jordy Guns podcast. I've got a special guest today, Travis Condon. Welcome, Travis.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Good to have you. So, Travis is from Queensland, same state as Kyle, but let's find out more about Travis, what he's doing, and a bit more about charges as well, hopefully, where the state titles and the national titles are. So, Travis, tell us a bit about yourself.
All right, mate. My name's Travis Condon. I'm from the Gold Coast, Australia, originally from Brisbane. Been racing for about 3 years now. Started in 1/10, and then about a year after that, started in 1/8, and then doing both now. So yeah, pretty full on.
We're quite jealous down here because you've got a good 1/8 and 1/10 scene up there. In Sydney, it's pretty much just 1/10, but I'm actually going to Orange this weekend for the Proline Series for 1/8, but it's like a 4.5 hour drive, so it's a bit of a drive.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. That's great. So 3 years ago you started doing it. So you did RC when you were younger as a kid or anything, or just got into it 3 years ago?
A little bit. I got into like the basher side probably about 12 years ago.
Right.
And a few of our friends and I, after work, we'd go to like a racetrack with some short course trucks. Just had a bit of fun. But then, it was quite a fair few years later that I actually got, started club racing.
Awesome. And did you get into 1/10 first or 1/8? 1/10 first, I think you said.
1/10 two-wheel drive short course.
Oh, right. Awesome. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
And these days, what do you normally do? Do you do a stock or mod in 1/10 or
Mod two-wheel drive buggy and four-wheel drive buggy and e-buggy and e-truggy.
Wow, you got some race program going. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Off air, you were talking about this weekend is the Carpet Nationals in Queensland. Is that Mozzie RC, right?
State titles.
State titles, right.
Nationals will be later on in the year.
That's great. And are you competing in that?
Yeah, two-wheel drive mod and four-wheel drive mod. And then we've also got 2 and 4 stock and two-wheel drive short course and juniors.
So what's the facility like?
Probably the best. I haven't been to that many indoor facilities, but it's one of the best facilities. It's all brand new.
Wow.
Chaz has raced a little bit, and then he's seen, and he's just made his own track with the help of Tony Watson and a few other guys who are seasoned racers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, done a really amazing job.
And have you had to do a lot of setup changes for carpet compared to normal, or?
Well, charges and Mozzies, it's very high, both very high.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So, pretty
That's
similar.
pretty handy. Right, so getting on to charges, obviously there's a whole bunch of us coming up for the state titles in May and then the nationals later in the year. Or was it April? Yeah, I'm actually going up. It's April 25th or May? I can't remember now. One of those. Anyway, tell us about charges. What's it like? It's like getting a big wrap down here. So what's it like racing there?
Yeah. Really good family. They're really steering towards the family-friendly environment. So we've got heaps of juniors. We've got female. We've got older ladies, younger ladies. We've got, it's just
awesome.
Amazing facility. The council have built, an amazing facility.
Wow, that sounds awesome. And What's it like with the car? You said it's high grip, so it's the sick surface it's called, isn't it? I think, yeah.
Yeah, so Six Surface, if you have a look at them, their website, they've been going around like resurfacing a lot of the BMX
Yeah,
tracks. So it's way less prep for the BMX
yeah.
races, and it works really well with them. And then I wasn't involved with the club when they went down that route with the Six Surface from the traditional surface, but yeah, it's worked well.
And is it how abrasive is it on tyres? Like we're all buying the control tyres, for the States. So what's tyre wear like, and what's the car wear like?
Yeah, so tire wear. So I don't know if you can see that, but that is a set of electrons.
Yep.
Yeah, so they get worn down, but they actually get better.
You can still use them in that state, can't you?
You can run. We run them to the foams pop through.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
And yeah, so when you get a fresh set, you just go out, run them for a few minutes, and they're a little bit slippery, and then they just come in. Yeah,
I love that kind of. I love it. They've got a track at home where you can run that kind of tire. It's a different surface. It's a clay surface, but it doesn't wear them to that state. But when they're that state, they work quite well.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. All right, excellent. And what about chassis and tire wear? Is it chassis? Is it rough on the cars, or it's okay?
Yeah, it is. If you're really worried about it, a lot of guys do. Well, they'll get like I think Keyworks make a front and rear skid plate, and then there's a few other brands.
Cool.
Well, a lot of guys, and Mick Sherman was just telling me a lot of guys from Interstate have just ordered skid plates from him, and then you get the chassis skins as well. So if you go down that route, you'll be fine. Obviously, for guys that aren't used to that sort of thing, it could be a bit of a shock. But yeah, if you get prepared and do that.
That's a good tip. All right. That's a good one. Good to know about the skid plates. And how often does the club run normally? Is it every 2 weeks or?
Every fortnight. So yeah, you'll be at Mozzie's one weekend, and then the next weekend you'll be at Chargers.
That's awesome. What do you have any sponsors, or do you have any preferred vehicles that you use? What brand do you run?
Yeah, so I'm on Ari's team,
cool.
HEI X-Ray. So yeah, loving.
That's good. They're excellent cars. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm running Jetco Tyres for Speedy RC.
Yep, awesome.
Got the X-ray hat on, got the Co shirt on. So yeah, so Jetco is the 1.8. So buggy and truggy tyres, and then hopefully they're going to get some 110 stuff very soon. So that'll be cool.
That's awesome. Where do people go at? Is there a Chargers website? I think there is, isn't there? Is it chargersrc.net or something?
Yes, that's correct. And it's got the state titles button there. So you press on that button, it's got a package there. Control tyres for buggy, short course, stadium truck, just an information pack.
Brilliant. So check it out. Yeah, I'll put the link in the show notes, but it's chargersrc.net. If you leave the RC off, you get the Chargers NFL team, San Diego. So yeah, I did that the first time. Cool. State titles. So they went on sale. Speaking of state titles, and they sold really quickly. What's the local? Is it exciting? Like, is it people realise that everyone's coming up? Like, is it exciting up there?
Yeah, there's been a bit of buzz. They're saying, a lot of people saying that state titles may be bigger than nationals. So. I would have thought other way around, but these are the guys that have been racing for a long time saying this. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. I think everyone's keen to travel too. I mean, even the 1/8. I was talking to the 1/8 guys about their state titles, and they said they're going to be huge up there as well. Like, because there's a lot of, because I've been talking to Kyle and a couple of shows we've talked about 1/8 up there. There's a bit of a buzz. Matty Leach, he came on talking about it as well. So it's quite cool. Some awesome tracks up there by the sounds of it. That's good.
Yeah, within 3 hours, we've got 4 1/8 tracks and 1/10 tracks. So
awesome. So I'm a B main bandit, right? I don't know if you know that, but so what do you like, Travis? Are you one of the fast guys up there or what?
Nah, not at all, mate. Nah. Be main bandit like yourself.
Awesome. I've had people write to me. They say how refreshing it is that I'm not a pro. Like, I'm just a Joe. So it's good. I mean, I've got Jordy's obviously ridiculously quick, so he does all that side of the podcast. I do the Joe side. So yeah. Who are some of the fast guys who do you think are some of the threats for the state titles?
Okay, so you probably know Chris 30.
Yep, for sure.
Obviously. Yep. And then, a few local guys, Mark Pachow, Rob Hughes, Jason Ryan, Keith McCrill, Mitch Murphy, Tony Watson, and young Jack Parsley. He's coming back. He's been more 1.8, but he's actually nominated 110.
Cool.
So that's for mod.
Yep.
And then stock guys, we've got Rob Maycock, Jordan Cosick, Matthew Lawrence, Gopal Pavlich, Jensen Spencer, John Perkins.
Yeah.
Like, just to name a few.
Awesome. There's a couple. So, I mean, all the fast mod guys are coming up from here, like Lachlan Donnelly, Jared Ment, Jordy's coming up from Victoria. So that'll be good to see. I can't wait to watch the mod. And then in the stock, there's a few. I mean, I'm not me, but there's a couple of fast stock guys coming up as well. So yeah, it'll be quite cool. I mean, I made the B main in the Vic, so if I could do the same up there, I'll be pretty chuffed. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it should be good. And you're running in the mod, you said, didn't you?
Yeah, 2-wheel and 4-wheel mod.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then my kids will be in junior.
Oh, cool. And how old are they?
My son is 7 and my daughter is 10.
Oh, awesome. My boy's 6 and he's he just now, I've got a car for him and he's itching to go down to start racing with him. So I'm going to take him on my own. But he can drive pretty well. Yeah. So I think he'll get into it. But that's really cool. I can't wait to start doing that with him because it'll give me more of a leave pass as well with my wife. If I take the boys, she'll be like, yeah, go whatever. So that's good. And so you've mentioned you do 1/8 and 1/10. How common is that? I mean, obviously you need to be fairly invested in the hobby. I mean, I do it, but not everyone can do that. But how common is that crossover up there?
Yeah, I think because we've got all of those tracks so close to each other, there's quite a few that do crossover. And then, you've got your guys that will then, do lean more towards one than the other, but will occasionally do a bit, a bit of 1/8, a bit of 1/10. But there is quite a few that cross over from both. So, you're seeing a lot of the same people at our, 6 sort of local tracks that I go to most. So,
And have you do you yourself travel interstate at all? Is that something you've done since you started racing 3 years or before COVID?
No. So I only didn't really. It was sort of right at the start of COVID that I started.
I realised halfway through the question that we've pretty much had COVID the whole time, so chances are you haven't. I'm the same. I started about the same as you. I'd be probably getting into 3 years now. I mean, first of all, we didn't race for the first six months of my first 12 months. The tracks were closed because we couldn't leave the house, and then when you was a bit better up there in Queensland than down here, I think, with that regard, like lockdowns.
We only had we only had a couple of lockdowns really, so we were able to. It was only a couple of times the track was closed, so we were super lucky.
I think we had. So anyway, I think even though it's been 3 years, I don't feel I've been racing all that time, but it's going to be cool. So that's really good. And how are you into watching any of the pros? I mean, there's been a bit of a buzz since I've got Kyle on the show, everyone's, because he's going to be racing in Australia. Do you follow much what's going on with the pro guys?
Yeah, so I got to watch DNC, Dirt Nitro Challenge. Yeah, so I was stuck in Caloundra at the Sunshine Coast when all of the flooding happened in Queensland. Yeah. So my daughter had an OzTag tournament there, and then I just 4 days I was up there, but it was right at the time where DNC was on, so I just got to watch the No Name podcast.
I do the same. I think the Nationals are on this weekend, so that's going to be super cool. All right, cool. We'll have a quick break. We'll come back with some more talking to Travis in a minute. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Still with Travis Condon. We're going to talk a bit more about Mozzie RC and the indoor carpet state titles that are on this weekend. So now, how long has that been? That's fairly new, that track, isn't it? I think, Travis, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's not even 6 months.
Wow.
I think so. Yeah,
And is it
quite
in
new.
a warehouse? Like where is it? Where is it indoors? Is it in a yeah?
Yeah, so it's in an industrial estate. It's a new warehouse sort of lot.
Yep.
And then Chaz Mostert. Most people that are involved in sort of motorsport or some sort of motorsport have heard of Chaz Mostert with the V8
Yep.
supercars. So yeah, it's his
Oh, it's
facility.
him. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
So when he's not, doing his day job, traveling around racing, he'll be there racing
That's
with us.
sick.
So, yeah,
That's so good.
it is. Yeah.
Having a race
So a few of the
driver.
few of the V8 supercar drivers over the years, Van Gisbergen and a few others have been involved. Down here on the Gold Coast.
That's mad.
Really.
That's unreal. And how? So to get an idea, I'm going to try to get some. I'll try to get some photos up when I do the editing of Mozzie. Like, how long is a lap time? And how big is the track? Yeah, you got not.
So fast guys are doing like 14s,
Right.
like low 14-second laps. So pretty short track.
Most of the indoor carpet ones are that I've seen, even in the States, they're not huge, right? Yeah. I guess in mod, that's pretty intense, right? I'd imagine.
Oh yeah. So if you can make a little bobble, and like it's pretty much impossible to catch back up to the few drivers. So, but it's sort of everyone will have a bobble. So one race be good, the next race you won't, and then same with the other guys. So, but I think I just try and get out to all the different tracks, and I think it'll just make me hopefully a better racer, just going on all these different
surfaces. For sure. Yeah, I think that's unreal. I mean, so what about tyres? Is there special carpet tyres that you have, or do you just use the Electrons worn down or something?
No, so there are special carpet tyres. So they've tested out the Schumacher tyres there, and that's what they've gone with for the control tyre. But then before we knew what the control tyre was, I've tried out Proline, I've tried out the J Concept, tried out a few different ones. They're all pretty similar. You want to go a bit softer compound than harder, I find. Some of the tyres act a bit differently. You might get a bit of slide, which I didn't mind. Others really grip up.
Yep. And can you use additive? And is it additive make sense on carpet? I don't know anything about carpet, so
we have. I think I've heard of people using it, but we haven't tried it. I don't know that they've outlawed it or whatever, but we just haven't had the need.
Yeah. No, that's really good. I mean, it's really exciting. Like, it's really good, exciting to have Australia to have a good carpet track, right? I mean, obviously in the States it's huge, and here it's just good to have that option. I mean, it's still far away from us, but hopefully it'll keep growing. And I did hear some of the local guys. I'm not sure. Are you aware of anyone coming up? Because there were guys talking about it when it first got launched, but I don't know whether they're coming up.
Yeah, Nathan Facchiel. He was, but I think he's been struck down, or his family's been struck down with COVID or something.
Yeah, I heard some guys talking. So, I mean, this is the first year it's been run. Obviously, it's new, so maybe it'll build up over time, which would be really cool.
Yeah, well, maybe nationals in carpet will be bigger than the States because it's only fairly new, but it's starting to gain traction locally, which is great.
Yeah, and so you said compared to Chargers, you don't do a lot of changes. And is there anything else to mention, like any radio settings different, or you just kind of and stock and mod are the same motors?
Yeah, pretty much like the stock guys can beat the mod guys at Mozzies.
Is that because it's so tight where the mod doesn't really make a difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then we're capped at 16mm ride height at Mozzies.
Okay.
Just not we figured that out when we sort of started testing there, and that was if we go any sort of lower, you're going to damage the track,
Yeah.
or damage people, like they're damaging their diffs and stuff like that. So we sort of capped it at that, and we haven't had a problem.
Yeah, I think in the States they do the same. I think they've quoted it for track damage. They actually limit how low you can go. Speaking of diffs, so at Chargers or Mozzies, do you use slippers? Like, do you use or do you actually have a diff in the ball diff in the two-wheel drive?
So definitely the carpet set up for the two-wheel drive with the gear diff. I like running the ball diff at Chargers, but definitely the gear diff for the two-wheel drive at Mozzies. And then we found, a few of us have found with the four-wheel drives, not using the center slipper, so actually using a center gear diff. We found better.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, for our guys, we're wondering for Chargers whether we should use the ball diff or the gear diff, but you prefer the ball diff on Chargers. Yeah.
It's about half the guys like the gear diff, half the guys like the ball diff, even in from like stock to mod.
Okay.
So just I always have one of each with me, and I'd say most guys will, and it's usually six or something screws, quite easy to. With the newer cars.
Yeah, we're all down here. We're all everyone's getting, because we don't have any gear diff tracks down here, really, right? So everyone's getting gear diffs and getting pumped for the road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. It's going to be unreal. All right, Travis. Any last words you want to talk about? And so, any sponsors? Mozzie's RC. Is there a shop there as well, or is it just?
They do have a shop there. Yes.
Excellent.
Yep.
I always like to promote. So if you're local, you go on there, try to buy from them, like to support them, which is good. Yeah. And any other sponsors you want to mention at either of those tracks?
So just for charges, so I've looked after some of the sponsors. So just a huge shout out to Plague Bearings.
Cool. Yep, they're good.
RC Maker, Speedy RC, J-Spec Stickers, Natho Builds, Oz RC, and Hybrid Landscape.
Awesome.
So like our gold, silver, and bronze sponsors for the state titles that we've secured. So that's awesome.
Yeah, good shout out to them. Yeah, that's really good. All right, it's great to have you on, Travis. It's been excellent. We might get you on again just before or just after the state titles. So we're driving up, so it's going to be a bit of an adventure for us. Should be fun. Yeah.
Yep, I'd love to come on whenever you'll have me, mate.
For sure. All right. Thank you very much. We'll be back soon. I think after this we've got Wrenching Corner with Jordy, so we'll be back with that in a couple of minutes. Cheers. And thanks, Travis. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Welcome back to the episode. Today we're going to go through a bit of wrenching tips, like trying to maintain your car during the race meet at a big event, or even just a regular club day, or even like at the practice day, just trying to keep your car tidy and in shape for each time you go out on the track. So usually before a race, I always check my battery is full. I have a little voltage meter thing that I've done it heaps of times. You just go out and you only have like 1 minute left and then your battery dies. So I've had that at big events as well. So
wow.
You don't want to be doing that. So. And wheel nuts. Always check your wheel nuts before a race. I've seen heaps of people have their tyre come off during a race. So you don't want to lose your race because of one of those kind of rookie errors.
I also check the tyres aren't coming off the glue, right? I'm paranoid about that. Like, there's nothing I check.
Yeah, that's another good idea to do before each race.
Yeah.
And I always just have a visual check of the car, just see if there's any screws that are coming undone or any ball studs are coming loose. If there's any cracks in the arms or any plastics. Yeah. Just kind of general things. And I always check my mesh, the gearing, and make sure that's not too tight or too loose.
That changes, eh? Is it because of the heat or something? Like, I've found it where I've got it perfect, and then I check it later and there's no play, and I'm like,
usually, or sometimes if you, case a jump, the motor might move a little bit. Yeah, so
that's interesting.
Just check everything before you go out, and then you just want to. Also, I'm a bit picky, but always have my car super clean before each race, even if I know it's going to come off fairly clean. Always make sure it's just super clean. I mean, that's kind of me, but yeah.
Mate, Ben
At
Cribben,
least done
right,
now.
I've seen you and you are superb. Ben Cribben
Yeah.
is a nut job. Like, everything's so clean. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Like, and he's in the 1/8 thing, he's unscrewing fuel tanks and checking, like,
Yeah.
he's so thorough. And
I mean, that's what you got to do, though. Just
it
make
is,
sure the
Jordy.
car's running perfect.
Because I am hopeless and it cost me at Orange. So I'm telling you off camera that I lost my oil in one of my shocks, and I'm pretty sure it was done before I started the qualifier, because it was either the outlap or it was because it was instantaneously bad. So I'm like,
Yeah.
how bad am I? Not even noticed the shock caps come down. Like, that means I haven't looked at it,
Yeah.
right? Like, so, I mean, I was looking at the car, but it just didn't. So I think it's with the 1/8 that really, I mean, it's the same for 1/10, but I think it really struck home. Doing 150 laps a day before, I pretty much didn't do too much. I took the wheels off and made sure everything, but when I fixed that shock, so I wanted to replace the oil in all the shocks. I wanted to lower the oils. I found the other side shock, the plastic, the bottom of the plastic where the screw goes in, was actually cracked. So
Right.
it was, I think I'm going to get better, because it's too
You learn
frustrating.
from mistakes.
Yeah, it's too frustrating, isn't it, to lose races over
definitely.
stuff like that.
Yeah, just because you know you've done something wrong. But
Yeah,
especially if it's at a big event, if you're in an A final or something.
yeah. If I ever make one. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you. So you talked about batteries and stuff. I'm the same with that. Like, I'm always super paranoid about batteries.
Yep.
And so you have a multimeter, do you, that you can check the voltage very quickly?
Yeah, it's a little, like, it's got the battery, the bullets on the end of it, and then it's got like a little digital display on it. So
cool.
just checks the voltage on it.
Because I have to plug it back into my...
It's very handy.
I need to plug them back into my charger to see it, but that'd be much handier if you could do like that remotely. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
And I also check camber and ride height before every race before I go out. Because if you do a change or something, it could affect one of those. So always do that before a race.
Yeah. And so if you're going to a big race, Jordy, if it's a 2 days, right? I mean, in 1/10, it's normally 2-wheel drive one day, 4-wheel drive the next. But I guess, for the state titles, they have a practice day the day before. In the night time, what do you do? I mean, you don't do a complete strip down. What do you do in between a full practice day?
It depends how the track is.
Yeah, okay.
I remember at Wodonga, it was super dusty and it kind of worn out some stuff. So I just took the shocks off and the drive shafts out just to give them a thorough clean over. And if they needed re-greasing in the drive shafts, I just re-greased them.
Okay.
And just trying to make sure, I just do a visual check over the car, tighten up all the screws.
Yeah.
And just clean it.
And
Very
how do you just use simple green, or how do you clean your car so well?
I used to use Simple Green, but I'm now find that a mixture of just water and the Palmolive dishwashing detergent works really good.
Oh wow!
So it's a 1-to-5 ratio. I think Dad's mixed up. So I find it works really good at getting the grease undone, kind of thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
especially at a keel or with the oil, like cleaning the tires with this stuff makes it heaps easier.
Right. Okay, so it's better than the simple green.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's what I found, and I know heaps of other guys down at the track use that mixture as well.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Your wings. So I don't know. They crack a lot, right? Do you have spare wings all the time, or do yours crack a lot, or you don't crash as much as me?
If you crash, it's definitely going to crack. But I find they bend, twist a lot more than they crack.
Yeah.
So I always carry every part of the car. I always carry a spare off when I go to the racetrack.
I was going to ask that. So, what's your spares like? Do you have a spare kit almost?
I have my practice 2-wheel drive car. So that's basically another car ready to go.
Yeah.
If I needed, chassis bends or something, just switch over to the other car. But with my 4-wheel drive, I kind of have a part for everything
Yeah.
in my spares box.
Yeah.
But just so I know if something breaks, just replace it.
Yeah. I remember when I used to do 1/8 12 years ago, I bought a second kit. And then if I ever replaced anything, I'd just buy the replacement for the spare. So, it's an expensive way to do it. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I did.
the XB8 was so expensive, but, I'm going to have to build up some spares. Like, you don't want to go away and break an arm when you're out of a... Like, you need to have spare arms, right? Like, I bent a shock shaft on the weekend as well. I forgot to tell you about that. That's another thing I did. So, I mean...
Okay.
1/8 puts a fair bit of more pressure on it, and you just stack more. Like, it's not as precise as 1/10, but So I think it's for new people as well. I'm always at the track. If someone's new needs to borrow a spare, I'm fairly generous with it because I feel it's a hard thing when you're starting out to know you really need to have a spare almost car.
Yeah, that's true.
Like and it makes it super expensive if you're not dead serious about it. But yeah.
Yeah.
What about, so I changed shock oils during a race meet for the first time in my career, my illustrious career on the weekend, because I realised I'd done a lot of changes to the car to get it to be more smooth, and the track was getting really rutted, like as 1/8.
Yeah, it looked a bit bumpy.
Super. So I I went down to softer oils, and it made a massive difference. So it was a good lesson for me how much you can do during a race meet. So do you ever do that? Or I guess that kilo it's super consistent, right? So it doesn't change much. But what do you think?
It's fairly consistent, but usually in the morning, like when it's cooler and the track's under the shade, it's actually quicker than like in the afternoon because when the sun's out, it brings up the oil a little bit and it gets a bit more slippery. So, mainly just change tyres and just a couple other little things, but nothing too major.
Yeah, cool. All right. Excellent. Well, that was good. So it was a good, different wrenching corner where we just talked about wrenching in general during race meetings. So that was super good.
That's what it's all about.
All right. Final break. Come back. Wrap up the show. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome back to episode 5 of the Jordy Guns podcast. It's time to wrap up the show. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. It's always great to see the numbers going up and people really enjoying the show. So we have really good support. So thank you all very much. If you did enjoy the podcast or the audio or the video, please give it a like on GRC YouTube channel and subscribe and just let us know your thoughts on the podcast. We'll always take any feedback, negative or positive, so we can improve the show and make it better. So
that's correct.
Yep.
Awesome, Jordy. Thanks, mate. That was an awesome show. I enjoy it as usual.
Yeah, me too.
You have good luck with your race on Sunday and with your preparation for Queensland. And hopefully I'll have my kit next time, so I'll hold it up on our next episode. And we're going to try to interview Ari Buckler, aren't we, next time? Which is going to be cool.
For our next episode.
Yeah, so
that'd be really good.
It'll be unreal. All right, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
See you next time. See you, Jordy.
No worries. Thanks.
Cheers, mate. Peace.